You ever have a day where you feel like nothing's going right? Not complaining about it, things could have gone a lot worse, and everything was fine, but I do have a tale of a series of misfortunate boating events. I didn't bring any bait with me. I'd usually get some at the boat ramp, but it was a little busy, so I stopped here to pick some up. And this was after I had been riding around for at least an hour, because I had hooked up the line for the internal tank because I wanted to get all that old gas out. And I rode, and it rode really well actually, until I had went and stopped on the other side of the bridge. And when I started it back, it didn't want to go. It wouldn't get over 5 miles an hour. I was like, huh. And then all of a sudden just kicked right in and started going full speed. Ran like it better than it ever did. So after some more wandering around, came to this island and figured I'd hop out here and do a little fishing. I had rode by it a few times earlier, and it was 3 or 4 boats here. I didn't want to hang out with anybody, but I wasn't ready to go home, so I came back and figured I'd see if I can catch something. I caught these shrimp in that little marshy area, and shrimp are a good bait. You know, fish love to eat shrimp, but they're not strong, so I call them nibblers. Anything that finds them is going to snatch them right off the hook. So if they're not big enough to swallow it, it's gone. So within one cast, that shrimp was gone, and I wasn't really trying to fool with it, so I had caught me a little pinfish. I'm going to cut him up and use him as bait. But all of a sudden the current and the wind started picking up. So I looked up and the boat was trying to beach onto the shore. So I ended up having to push it out a little bit and figure something else out. The anchor wasn't hung on anything, or wasn't, catching the sand like it should. I had taken it out earlier on the other side of Swansburg, tried to dock the anchor, and it wouldn't hook into nothing. I just noticed I was floating back into the channel, so I just pulled it up and went on to go somewhere else. But I figured out this little method here. I got the back end hooked to the shore, and it seems to keep it, in the right direction, I feel like. But I didn't cast it maybe a couple more times, and I just realized current was kind of picking up, so it's probably time to get out of there, get off the island. So I got everything cleaned up a little bit and got the anchor back on and got ready to leave. And I was a little stuck, and that's alright. I just hopped off and gave it a little push. But as I was leaving, the motor kept wanting to cut off. It cut off, turn it on, it would cut off. If you give it any kind of gas, it was wanting to cut off. I mean, just putting it in gear, it didn't want to go, and which is so weird because it rode so well all day long. So I get it backed out, into a little bit deeper water, and I don't know how many times it cut off on me. But I said, it must be out of gas. I've been riding that fuel all day, and the gas gauge doesn't work either, of course. But I figure I'll anchor out here just for a minute so I don't end up being pushed back to the shore. And I'll hook that other external tank that I got, I'll hook it back up, and I should be good to go. So I hooked that line up, and as I'm taking the old line off, I realize it ain't out of fuel. So that's not a good sign. But I get it hooked up, and I get it to start, and realized the anchor that I had thrown out was wrapped up underneath the motor. So I had to just about swim in the water to get that rope out. I was about to just let it go. I could not get it, but I finally ended up getting it out from behind the motor, thankfully. But that did not fix my problem. As I'm going out, you couldn't get it to go more than a couple miles an hour. If you give it any gas, it'd cut off. And I'm like, I've got like 30, 45 minutes before it's dark. I'll just have to go 2 or 3 miles an hour all the way back. So I took the short route through the shallow channel, and of course none of it recorded because the GoPro died too. But finally, when I got out of the shallow channel, I tried to give it some more gas. Went to humming. It ran better than it did all day. So I don't know. I think it's just a series of misfortunate boating events, and we'll try it again next time. Y'all be safe. Bye.